If some of those great people that were in that club that night had guns strapped to their waist or strapped to their ankle,
the bad guys don't know which one of us are carrying. So we all become safer for every concealed carry permit holder.
Pop, pop.
Once you're really afraid and think that the gun is your salvation, then the idea of having it taken away from you is scary.
Yeah, I was shot in the head. So I went like in here, out here.
The bullet just went through you right there.
You know, it brings back some weird memories, you know, it really does. Like, it's kind of just weird being back, I'm gonna be honest.
This is the parking lot in San Francisco, where 4 years ago, 25-year-old Ben Pessa was shot in the head. Lewd advances towards his girlfriend outside of a Halloween party sparked a confrontation that nearly turned deadly.
And you were right around here too.
Yeah, I was like, probably like right here. A guy walks past her and kind of like brushes her a little bit. He grabs her breast. I'm like, can you say you're sorry or apologize? He's like, you know, I got a gun, bro. He got his gun in the trunk of his car. I thought it was a fake gun, you know. I didn't, because it went along with his costume. He was wearing fatigues and he pulls out a Glock. He started shooting. One bullet went straight through my head and that was pretty much it.
After being in a medically induced coma for nearly a month, Pessa woke up in the hospital with an artificial skull. He was lucky to be alive.
Benjamin was transferred to UC San Francisco yesterday. Then today, another giant step, literally.
You ready? That feels a little stronger.
The young man took his first steps.
Even after being shot in the head, Pessa, like many Americans, still believes that people have a right to carry a gun. The ability to legally carry guns in public is increasingly becoming the norm. Over the last 3 decades, all 50 states have passed laws allowing citizens to carry concealed weapons. Some states make it more complicated to obtain a permit, while others have few restrictions in place.
Many of the states that thought their first innovation of allowing citizens to apply for a permit have taken it one step further and said, you don't need a permit at all, you can just carry it whenever you want.
10 states now allow individuals to carry concealed weapons in public without a permit. Across the country, the number of concealed carry weapon holders has skyrocketed from under 5 million in 2007 to more than 13 million today. Despite the surge, Americans remain divided on the issue. A recent Gallup poll shows a small minority favor concealed carry, provided background checks and proper training are in place.
The industry has been very attentive to opportunities to, cultivate a sense of fear.
John Donahue studies the connection between concealed carry permits and crime.
I think many of the people who purchase guns think that this is going to make them feel safer. I suspect a certain number of them feel a lot more apprehensive. You're constantly feeling the need to be alert.
Now this is the center of my world.
Ads like this one for Daniel Defense depict the world as an increasingly dangerous place, where being armed is the only way to stay safe.
Daniel Defense, defending your nation, defending your home.
The NRA is constantly trying to use episodes of terrorism or mass shootings to encourage more sales of guns. Anytime there is an upward tick in crime, they make it seem like the Wild West has returned.
So the Urban Carry G2 here, so at this rate you have a 12 gauge.
The concealed carry market brings in hundreds of millions of dollars for the gun industry every year. Even California, known for its tough gun laws, has seen a push in some parts of the state to make obtaining a permit nearly as easy as getting a driver's license.
I have opened up CCW permits in this county for the first time in several sheriffs.
Since taking office 7 years ago, the sheriff of Sacramento County, Scott Jones, has handed out thousands of concealed carry permits. It's one of the largest increases in the country.
Scott Jones! We don't want you! We don't want you! We don't want you! We don't want you! We don't want you!
But many are concerned that rapidly increasing the number of concealed carry permits will lead to more violence. Keon Bliss is an Army veteran.
we don't want you!
Talking about, the number of concealed carry permits under Scott Jones, how many of those concealed carry permits were issued to gun holders of color? The vast majority I'm understanding is predominantly white. I don't feel safe carrying a gun around. Think about who gets the most scrutiny for carrying around guns in public. If I were to walk around with a gun holstered on my hip, the odds are I'm probably going to get stopped, harassed, or someone's going to call the police on me.
Told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
Sometimes police panic when they see a gun. That's what happened in Minnesota last year when police pulled over Philando Castile, who had a concealed carry permit.
We got pulled over for a busted tail light in the back. They killed my boyfriend. He's licensed. He's licensed to carry. He had a firearm and he was reaching for his wallet, and the officer just shot him in his arm.
Go help them. Hold on.
CCW holders have also snapped during confrontations. This police body cam footage captured what happened when Stephen Jones, a student at Northern Arizona University, got into a fight and ended up shooting 4 people.
6 of 4, multiple victims. I need guardian here immediately.
Oh my God, no.
Sir, what is your name?
I'm so scared.
That's all right, hang on.
I'm so scared. Can I call my mom? Do you know if they're okay?
I don't know if they're okay. I know that some people were transported to the hospital. Okay, we're just gonna put them on top, so just... That's fine. That's fine, Stephen. So put your hands together like this. You're not gonna die, no.
We've seen a whole series of bad things happening when people carry guns, from shooting themselves to having their kids shoot them, to getting involved in disputes with others where somebody gets killed that otherwise wouldn't be killed.
To better understand why issuing concealed carry permits is rapidly on the rise, I went to speak with the man at the center of the controversy, Sheriff Jones of Sacramento County.
And my oath is to protect the citizens of Sacramento County. I mean, before I lay my head down at night, I have to make sure 1.5 million people are safe.
Sheriff Jones says that when he took office in 2010, the recession led to him losing almost a third of his force, and he began to worry about public safety.
So you were thinking, arm the citizens?
We couldn't be everywhere, and so I wanted to empower folks. Not only did it comport to my own personal view, but I wanted to make sure that I was empowering folks to be able to protect themselves and their families when we couldn't be there at the right times to do it for them.
Jones says his office approves 90% of applications for concealed carry permits. Typically, only those who have criminal records or have previously been committed to a mental health facility are denied. Before being issued a permit, applicants must take a class, often taught with several dozen other students.
I started out the business trying to do groups like that, and I felt like I was not able to give the student anything. There was no instruction. It's a rubber stamp.
It's a rubber stamp.
Yeah, I don't do rubber stamps.
Veteran instructor Guy Oxer teaches students one at a time, something he feels is essential to learning how to carry a concealed gun responsibly.
So you've learned a lot from this guy.
I have.
Michaela Sterling is a volunteer firefighter and a new CCW permit holder. She's one of a growing number of Americans who feel that carrying a gun is the best way to stay safe.
If you don't have any sort of training, you kind of just pull your gun out and shoot at someone who's looking at you, and it turns into this kind of bad situation. Whereas if you have training, you kind of know, okay, this is what I was taught. How can I not use my weapon if possible?
Shooters ready? Go! Pop, pop.
Most courses that I've done before don't actually have a picture of a real person.
Well, guess what? If you carry a gun for self-defense, that's what you'll be shooting, a real person.
Not a zombie or
no.
Whatever they have on the targets.
A black silhouette? No, you're going to actually be shooting a person. And if you have to defend your life or someone else's life, you need to understand that's what it's going to be like. It's a person.
For several years, Sheriff Jones claimed his CCW program was an unqualified success and that he could hardly keep up with demand. In public statements, he claimed there had been no violent acts committed by any CCW holders to whom he'd issued permits.
Am I going to worry about people that have shown a willingness to go through the legal hoops it takes to required to carry a weapon? I'm not worried about those people. I'm not worried. There's not been anyone in the history of Sacramento County been shot by a holder of a concealed weapons permit issued by this office.
However, when Ben Pessa was shot that Halloween night in San Francisco, the shooter, Hun Chu Se Lee, had been issued a CCW permit by Jones's office in Sacramento. allowing him to carry his Glock 45 almost anywhere in the state of California. Jones said he failed to learn about the shooting of Ben Pessa because of a clerical error.
You have a system of human beings. You have human beings that have the CCWs. You have human beings in us that are using our best judgment to issue them. So there could be spectacular failures. You can't just take an isolated incident and say, well, the program's a failure because someone got killed. It's a bit of science. It's a bit of art, right? So it's trying to marry up science and art.
If you're not on top of something that was that dramatic and created national news, you're probably not attentive enough to your job to really merit being there.
Although the near-fatal shooting of Pessa is the only shooting by a CCW holder here, it's far from the only crime. Public records show that the sheriff has had to revoke more than 200 CCWs for crimes and negative interactions with law enforcement.
Let's say those 200 should have never been issued. Well, okay, there's still 7,800 that I did issue that nothing bad has happened, that are empowered for their own safety. And you can advocate and opine for whatever position you hold, but I have an additional burden that you don't have. I have an additional burden of keeping 1.5 million people safe. Well, CCWs, for me, has a piece in that discussion, in that equation.
How do you feel about the fact that there are 8,000 new concealed carry permits that were handed out in Sacramento?
And that's putting the public's safety at risk. So I'm very troubled by that.
In 2001, Amanda Wilcox's daughter, Laura, then a 19-year-old college student, was shot and killed at the mental health clinic where she was working in this small Northern California town.
This isn't exactly the kind of place where you would think that you would have worried about your daughter being randomly shot by somebody.
Right. No, I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried. And yeah, if it can happen here, in beautiful Nevada City, beautiful Nevada County, it can happen everywhere. And it does.
Today, Wilcox is a legislative advocate for the California Brady campaign to prevent gun violence. She's concerned that Sheriff Jones's permissive policies will lead to more guns ending up in the hands of dangerous people, like the man who shot her daughter here at this now abandoned facility.
Are there going to be more gun deaths or potentially more gun deaths when more people are carrying guns, particularly if it's untrained people with very low standards like in other states? Yeah, then more people are going to go through what I went through.
Over the past decade, Wilcox has helped pass dozens of gun control laws in California.
I cannot get my daughter back, and I miss her every single day. We need a way to disarm dangerous people, and I ask you all to figure it out because people are dying in our state.
So this was not an easy recovery.
No, I'm still recovering, you know, like, and I tell people today, like, I'll never be the same, ever. I'll never be the same, because like I was living this life that like I thought I was gonna live forever.
You also got shot in the head, and you're now here standing, talking about it.
Yeah, I know, it's surreal.
Do you think about the guy who shot you much?
That guy lost, I won, you know, I'm alive.
Gun control advocates look at Pessa's case as a reason to limit concealed carry. President Trump, however, has vowed to take the concept of concealed carry a step further, forcing states to accept all concealed gun permits, no matter where they were issued.
It's possible that the position that the sheriff has taken in Sacramento will be the constitutional rule for the entire country.
Our full documentary series about guns in America covers other controversial issues, such as smart gun technology, the influence of the NRA in politics, and the popularity of the AR-15. Make sure to check out our series and subscribe to AJ Plus for more docs.